Hey everybody, so welcome to the Lazy Brown Productions with your boy D Wesley, and today I will be reviewing what appears to be the final two issues of Shadow. Seems to be the final chapters of Shadow Cabinet. It's gonna be issues 3 to 4. I kind of just blew through it, so let's go ahead and let's get started. So I want to say these last two chapters were great. Actually, no, they were good. Not great. If I had to say, the final two chapters set up for what appears to be they want Rocket and Static to take the forefront of this universe going forward. It also felt like, I could be reading too much into this, but it felt like they wanted kind of Icon to take a back seat and go off and do his own thing. And I really wouldn't be shocked if they went that route with it. Hardware, it comes across as the guy where he's still going to be playing a major role, but he'll just be appearing here and there. I kind of like that they made Hardware into almost their version of Nick Fury and Batman. We see that Curtis is now sitting in front of Alvin's, what we now know is Alvin's sister. And she pretty much tells a story about her family, and Curtis is like, okay, you're his sister. Cool, guess what? I'm still gonna snuff you out like I'm gonna snuff out him. And then we fast forward to now we see that Edwin Alva, they pretty much transported him, or not transported him, they pretty much made him into what we now perceive as Dr. Manhattan number 3. Or technically, it would be Manhattan number 2, but really, we all know that Dr. Manhattan was inspired from Captain Atom. So, we see during all this is going on, we get flashes of pretty much Static, and his mother gives him inspiration saying, look, you gotta go out there, you gotta do what you gotta do. Static and his family is going to be gone, and because he's not there to protect them. His mother assures him, so he goes out there. Rocket, she's doing her inner monologue about what's going on. We see that Curtis has set her up to get a suit designed specifically for her, which I'm guessing is to output her powers to the max, or her abilities to the max. And from there, while that's going on, we then go forward to see when Alvo comes back, he goes like, all these freaks are everywhere. You know what? I'm tired of them, and I'm gonna start with the main one. You see him ship off into space and go and attack Icon. So now you see Icon, and we see Icon, we see Edwin fight one-on-one, and they fight so hard in some space station that they come back to Earth. When they come back to Earth, we see eventually Curtis escapes. After Curtis escapes, we see that Icon's losing. He can't take Edwin by himself. And so we then go forward to see, as he's getting his behind beat, we see Rocket come out and say, hey, let him go. And she punches him. We come across the point where Rocket gives her a dramatic speech of saying, hey, Icon, we don't have time for pleasantries. And she then goes and says, like, hey, you're not dealing with just Rocket anymore. You're dealing with Rocket and Icon, not Icon and Rocket. So it's kind of to show that she's now put herself as the main protagonist, which she always was, the protagonist of her own story. But we now see that she's the lead for this. So they start to fight. We see Dharma giving his foretelling of Rocket might not make it through this. And then we get flashes of pretty much Static. So now he attacks Alva. And then Rocket's like, holy crap, you finally ready to do this? And Static's like, bro, I'm here. You know, he gives a little dramatic thing. He's like, I'm Static, and I will put a shock to your system. after that, they then go on to a big battle. So everybody starts attacking Alva. You see the Blood Syndicate eventually come in. You see Anansi come in through the portals, thanks to the Shadow Cabinet. As you see everybody giving it all to Alva, it's still not doing too much because it's doing something, but it's not enough. We see eventually Curtis gave Technique some tech for her to use while she's trying to figure out pretty much how to disrupt Alva. And after all that, we see then that Technique, that's the name of the woman, where technically I can't remember her actual name, but Technique tells Rocket, hey Rocket, I need you, this is what we need to do to stop Alva. And Rocket's trying to figure out, who are you and where you coming in? She just says, I'm a friend. I'm guessing when Curtis made the suits for you and gave the technology to me, he made it all on the same servers on the dark web. That's why I said they pretty much made Curtis into kind of like the Batman of their universe, which it makes sense. It's always going to be the genius billionaire. Well, that's sorry, not. It's always going to be genius tech genius that's going to be the one that kind of evens out the odds for backup plans. So she then tells her, you need to punch Alva and then have the nanites literally eat at him so we can get rid of him. Finally, Rocky gets a good shot, punches Alva, and slowly starts injecting the nanites into him. And when she does that, that's when Alva grabs her. So we see Technique, aka Tiffany Evans, tell her, you gotta let go of Alvin, because if not, you're gonna blow up. This is where we see Hardware come in with a big suit, honestly, that looked like the Hulkbuster, came in, grabbed Edwin, and then they shot up into the sky. So I'm guessing she's thinking she's gonna die the hero's death. Icon's trying his hardest to get to her so she doesn't die. And you can truly see he truly cares about her as a father figure, as a mentor, or as whatever he needs, wherever you feel as that's non-romantic interest. So Rocky sits up here and says, Curtis, what are you doing? Like, it's not good. And that's when he says, it's okay, I got this. So Icon blasts Edwin with his laser beam. Honestly, I don't think I would use a laser beam. I would try my hardest to maybe use a propulsion blast from his hand. Would have been better, so that way he doesn't look too much or feel like he has the exact same powers as Superman. So he blasts Alan's hands so that way Rocket can be let go. After she's let go forcibly, they go up into the sky, and that's when Alan explodes from the nanites and everything else, and they come back to the ground. So everybody's thinking that Hardware had passed away, that he's dead. No, he's not. Hey, he's just come back and said like, hey, guys, what's wrong? And they're like, I thought you were dead. He goes like, no, this is on autopilot. Like, I'm at another location. I'm safe. Like, the fuck? And they're like, dude, you're such a dick. Honestly, that was pretty much of a dick move. But he goes to kill Edwin, and that's when Rocket steps in and says like, hey, listen, you don't need to do that. I don't want you to face those charges because you kill him. That's murder. Don't try to shoulder everything by yourself. So he lets it go. And it's a win for all the metahumans and all the heroes of Milestone Comic. Curtis faces trial. Icon comes in and defends him. August comes in and defends him because that's when Rocket says he finally did the thing I always wanted to do, which is step up for in those times of need. And they all have a good kumbaya, sitting on top of the roof, saying, hey, look, we got this. Saturday promises, look, I'm not going to let you out there by yourself again. You see Rocket say, like, oh, so, I think it felt like, was he shooting his shot? And then the Saturday promise like, nah, I ain't doing that to you. And I think it was just to confirm that they're just friends. They're only going to be friends. And I guess that fits because that's always going to be their story of they're good comrades and good friends. I guess like Dick Grayson and Wonder Girl, Donna Troy. Just good friends, never meant to be anything else. That's it. And which I'm okay with that. I actually really am okay. Overall, if I had to give the run something, the whole Shadow Cabinet arc, I guess I would give it I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's a solid read. I feel like, I don't know, something was really missing towards the end. It felt kind of rushed to me, but it all worked out for itself. I think they're trying to establish that Rocket and Static are the future of their universe. I'm okay with that, but here's the thing. Actually, no, it makes sense because they're the ones who have the most media exposure. As we all know, Static has his media exposure, but Rocket has good media exposure from the series of Young Justice. Despite how some people feel about that. Sorry, I saw a comment one time that said it should have been somebody else. Like, no, I'm perfectly fine with Rocket being there. I'm perfectly fine with Rocket being there. I love the representation of Milestone comics. And Rocket's a good addition. Like, bump y'all. So, after that, I would say, pick it up, read it. I will say, it felt like they were truly trying to say, let the old timers take a back seat now and let the newer generation take forward. Icon, it definitely felt like they were, I want to say, pushing him to the side. And in the whole series, like, he really wasn't needed nor wanted on that earth. I don't know why. It just felt that way. And it's weird because you wanted him to step up and be there for people, but you wanted him to be that way as a hero, not as a lawyer. So that one to me was kind of weird too. Maybe I'm getting the wrong mixed messages here, but I don't know. Overall, it wasn't horrible, but that was just my own little, I would say, my own grievance about it. Not that it wasn't like a big where I can't sit down and watch it, but it just had me scratching my head. But like I said, overall, give it a shot. It's a pretty short run. I recommend it. Tell me what y'all think, and I will catch y'all later. Peace.